Good evening. Thank you for joining us this November 22nd. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. We're going to have the invocation given by Councilmember Brucci and followed by the pledge to the flag. So if you could please stand.
Dear Lord, guide us with your love, understanding, and wisdom, and help us to lead with love and logic. Bless all of those who serve in elected office, and hold them to your heart as they focus on what is best for all Americans. We have much to give thanks for, as we live in the greatest country in the world, and we as a body are truly fortunate to be in a position to help mold the future of Hagerstown. Wrap your love in your arms around America, and bless us and keep us safe. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
We will be following the rules of procedure that were effective December 15th of 2020. Please make sure that your cell phone is muted. All correspondence for distribution to elected officials should be provided to the city clerk and should include a copy for the city clerk. Our meeting schedule for December will be as follows. December 6th and 13th, we'll have a work session at 4 p.m. December 20th, we'll have a regular session at 7 p.m. December 27th, we have no meeting scheduled. So up first today, we do have a proclamation for Municipal Government Works Month.
Who's accepting it?
So we do have a proclamation for Municipal Government Works Month, November 2022, whereas the city of Hagerstown was incorporated in 1762, and whereas Maryland is the home to 157 municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsible level of government, allowing citizens to have direct access to elected officials, and whereas in an effort to educate citizens about municipal government and the importance of their participation, the city of Hagerstown is proud to promote municipal government awareness. And whereas municipalities have enhanced the quality of life for their respective residents by providing excellent community-based services and helping to make Maryland a great place to live, work, and visit. Now therefore, with the support of the City Council, I, Emily Keller, Mayor of the City of Hagerstown, hereby join the Maryland Municipal League in declaring the month of November 2022 as Municipal Government Works Month in Hagerstown, Maryland. So, and as a board member of MML, thank you for supporting this initiative and representing Municipal Government Works. Had a conversation earlier today about how the work really gets done on these levels, and it would be nice if more people really paid attention and stopped getting caught up in all of the national politics that have become so polarizing, because a lot of the work that gets done in this building really impacts our life. So I appreciate you and all that you do.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And municipal government works because of the full-time, part-time, and seasonal staff that have worked for the city of Hagerstown, that continue to work, and that have retired and made the city what it is. So I accept this on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good smiles, 1, 2, 3. Good smiles, 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Thank you. We also today have some milestone recipients for the City of Hagerstown boards and commissions. So we do have several boards and commissions that if you're interested in volunteering for the city, you can go on our website, hagerstownmd.org, and submit an application. We are really, really blessed to have a lot of dedicated individuals who have dedicated years to us. So today, we have the winner of the 2022 Dennis Miller Volunteer Award recipient, Aaron House, for the Board of Code Appeals. He can't be here this evening, but we are going to present that at a later meeting. We also have Mr. Randy Catlett, who's done 30 years on the Hagerstown Loan Review Authority. Leroy Bertner, who has done 20 years on the Hagerstown Loan Review Authority. Paula Reed, who has served 35 years on the Hagerstown Historic District Commission. And Dan Batonik, who has done 35 years on the Hagerstown Historic District Commission. So thank you all very much, and if you could come up here, we have a certificate of appreciation for you. Thank you, guys. Very much for your service. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, up next we have citizen comments. But first, I actually want to acknowledge two other special guests that we have in our audience tonight with the Church of Christ of Hagerstown. We have Miles Henry from Troop 252 and Peyton Gullickson from Troop 252. So if you guys could stand, and we appreciate you coming to our meeting today. Thank you very much. We have a shirt for you if you'd like to come get one.
Do they get a merit badge for this? Because they deserve it. All right. So we didn't have any citizen comments emailed, but we do have a couple people signed up to speak tonight. So up first we have Michael Stout. If you could come state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Michael Stout, 18 South Mulberry. First, I saw on here you had a proclamation of World AIDS Day on the 1st.
We're moving it.
Okay,
Yes.
I just want to tell you that started out as a candle in the wind 40-some years ago when it started, so I've saw it all, so support that. But I'm here tonight with a lot of good news. The Hagerstown Police stepped up big time on Cannon. Now, I mean big time. Every day I see them sitting up there around the clock. I give them all the credit in the world. Well, you heard me ranting the last time, and I didn't mean to rant at you. It was so serious over there. Today I did a little walk. There's still people going in Bixler, shooting up in their legs, young kids. But I understand, and they're out in the cold. And if anybody read my Facebook about the homeless, read it on Facebook, on Hagerstown Times, because I tried to outline what I've saw. Pretty sad. They have to be fed and housed, but they also have to help themselves. The second thing is, I finally got a hold of the top man at Meredith, Mr. Joshi. Believe me, it took a long while and a lot of biting my tongue, but this gentleman stepped up big time where he actually came over there and sat. And I saw him doing that little sneaking thing, sitting in their vehicle. He saw firsthand what happened. They hauled people out of there. There was a gentleman hauled out of there that you would not have believed what he looked like. Had he stayed in there, he probably would be dead. He was on a mattress. The stairway became a living shelter for a lot, including a pit bull. So they've stepped up. They put barricades. They had actually cut the door open in the back somehow, and they've stepped up. They've reinforced the mesh. Doesn't seem to be a problem with anybody in there now at all. But he did step up to plate. He contacted me, and I gave him all the credit because as soon as he saw what was going on, his eyes opened. All the lower people that were keeping me from him, they might have got HELL, I don't know. But the problem now, in my opinion, is Sheets. Now, this is what I got out of them. You can't talk to the CEO of Sheets. Well, I'll get to talk to him, believe me. Or you all might have to bail me out, Bob Rucci.
Oh, my.
You know, I'm gonna
Put
count
that
on
on
you.
him.
I'm gonna count on you for that.
Well, you know how to get hold of me.
But it is excuse after excuse after excuse with them. My point, as it was with the hospital, you own that property. It's your responsibility. Their excuse, well, the security company can't get people to work. Well, why isn't Sheets getting people to work? They certainly have a lot of money. So I'm on Sheets', and believe me, I'm gonna be on them, because that's where the Hagerstown Police are right now, up there, and that's where the main problem is. The neighborhood is kinda dried up, so whatever happened since the last meeting to now has been good. But I did write, if you are on Facebook, Hagerstown Times, I wrote something, I really wish you would read it. And the second thing is, I want you to know that I was interviewed by a reporter, but I did not embarrass anybody. It caught me off guard. I'm not trying to be famous, and I'm not trying to run for your office, but things are improving in our neighborhood, with what happened up the street the past 2 weeks. That alleviated a big thing, and you saw it probably on the Hagerstown Police website, what they found, which I've been saying all along, what's been going on. And by the way, at the parade, you all shocked me out of my name. But I want to also tell you that I'm having my eyes lifted tomorrow, my eyelids. So if you see me walking around the neighborhood with black eyes, nobody hit me. So I'm having surgery tomorrow, and I have to leave, but I hope all of you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
You too,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Peace and blessings.
I'm not even gonna comment about the tree, it looks nice, but it wasn't colored
I
out.
knew it.
No, it wasn't. You're right.
I knew it was coming.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Up next, we have Mr. Fred Chavis. If you could come up, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Peace and love, everybody. I'm Fred Chavis, 18014 Lappins Road, Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm speaking today in concerns for the Robert W. Johnson Community Center. We actually started a petition yesterday that already has over 200 votes of support, looking for the disbandment of the current board of directors, which includes Reggie Turner, Carolyn Sterling, Ursula Guillory, Joseph Jefferson, and Stanley Brown, along with David Young. And we started this petition due to the fact of ineffective leadership, destructive management, and detrimental public comments against local leaders, local elected officials, and even candidates that we now have in office. We have requested numerous meetings from the public in regards to the center, and they have refused every single time to show up. And unfortunately, when you say that you are doing things for the community, you say that you are supporting the community, you are serving the community, then you don't run from accountability when it comes to the community. But instead, they have denied every single public meeting of accountability for answers, transparency. They have denied all of that. Along with that, there's too many conflict of interest that revolves around the Robert W. Johnson Community Center. As I'm to understand, they did recently just have an election process for their board members while we are all questioning what is going on at the center and why it's not open. And one of the conflict of interest I would like to bring up is Reggie Turner, who is an executive for Western Maryland Community Development Corporation. And he is on the board for the Robert W. Johnson Community Center. He presented an MOU agreement as well that is a partnership between his organization along with the center and Preservation Maryland, which is a direct conflict of interest for you to have that MOU agreement to serve as an executive for your organization while also serving on the board for the Robert W. Johnson Community Center. And one of the biggest questions that we have had is why he has been fast-tracked onto the board along with others, and unfortunately, we haven't gotten any response as to why. So we are addressing that conflict of interest. And with the petition, with the support of the people, we are charging Reggie Turner and Western Maryland CDC with collaborating with state officials and stacking their board with like-minded individuals, with people that they know are going to support the initiative and not speak up, because everybody that has spoken up that was a part of this board is no longer present on that board anymore. And so this has been one of the things that is a conflict, as it seems they're serving more of Western Maryland CDC rather than our center. And I bring this up because we've had many meetings in our community in regards to violence and different things that's going on. Well, community centers provide that hub space for that. They provide violence intervention. They provide programming. They provide food. And they also provide a unity amongst organizations and even our churches. But right now, the building's just sitting there. And it's not because we're not providing enough resources or there's no collaboration, but it's because there are people with better interests for their self rather than the community. So I'm asking the city council and the mayor that we not entertain private meetings with these individuals. In fact, I'm asking that we not even entertain collaboration, because at this point, we have kind of drawn the line and the people have stood up. This isn't about individuals, this is about the voice of the people, and the voice of the people are saying that we want this board disbanded. So we're asking for your support to get rid of this board. Every single individual must go. And so we are asking for your support. I'm also asking for a call to all the pastors that's in Hagerstown, especially those that are in the Jonathan Street neighborhood. This is the time to come together at this point, because we need our community center, but we also need unity amongst our pastors to be the standards in our communities. And so I am asking that you hear the call, because I'm wondering how long we're going to continue to let this continue to happen in our communities before we finally drive it out. Because me personally, I can't sit by idly while these things are happening, while our young people are getting hurt on the streets, and people are sitting here trying to figure out how they can best serve their better interests with their money. We can't stand for that. So I'm all about the community right now. That's why I chose to speak today, and I'm asking for the pastors and the community to continue to stand strong. There's nobody's name that is greater than the voice of the people. So do not be afraid of a Reggie Turner or a Terrence Moore or Western Maryland CDC. Stand up for what is right for the people and make your voices be heard, because the people need the community center. And we cannot let just people just sit here and hold it hostage while our people are suffering in the streets, because clearly the condition of our community does not matter to them. So understand that this is about the power of the people, and when you underestimate the power of the people, that's when you ultimately are getting ready to fall down. So I'm asking for the support of not only just our city council mayor, but for the people to continue to make your voices heard, and let's free the Robert W. Johnson Community Center from people that don't give a damn about the people that it serves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Signed up next, we have Mr. Chad Smith. If you could come forward, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
This guy, man. I'm Chad Smith. I'm from 1615 Colonial Way in Frederick, Maryland. And I'm here also about the Robert W. Johnson Center as well. You know what's going on. I mean, you've known for a long time. You've seen everything, you've heard everything there is to hear and say about it. And I just think that having looked at the limited amount of financials that I've looked at, there's problems. And having talked to the people I've talked to, like Fred Chavis, like people who have actually worked in the center, there's a lot of problems. And to have the hubris to completely ignore simple requests for information that the people who live in the community are entitled to have, to me, it's just nonsense. For that board to think that they're somehow above the community which they claim to serve is just ridiculous. And it's an insult to everyone who lives there and who's raising families there. I have family there, and I know some of you have family there, and I know a lot of us have family there also. And I learned today that there's a direct connection between increasing crime to when the center has been closed. So we have actual data that supports the need for the board to go. Now we have an actual like 200 and plus signatures on a petition for the board to go. We have a vote of no confidence for the board to go. The state, as we've learned, is aware of the need of a massive change in that center. So I guess all we need now are solutions. So what is the extent of the options that the community has, and what tools does the city and the county have in their toolbox to help accomplish what needs to be accomplished here, which is for that particular board to be pressured. You can't force them to leave if they don't want to leave because of the massive, gigantic egos that are on that board, one person in particular. But I would just like to know, and I'm sure the community would like to know also, meetings are pretty much done. You know what's going on. So what are the possible solutions that the community has to take back control of that center that it desperately needs to have as the nerve center of the community, as it was and as it should be? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
There is no one else signed up to speak. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, if you could just come forward, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mark L. Goodnight. I volunteer at the center. I have volunteered for many years since I first moved to Hagerstown. That community center is of the community, by the community, for the community. There needs to be some transparency. No one is bigger than the community. I've volunteered there for over 11 years, and honestly, it's apathetic. Whoever thinks that it is all about them, their title, their prestige, no, it is to help the community. I've worked with Fred, I've worked with others, and I will continue, because that is the one thing, since it is for the community, I respect that. I think that this is an issue that has been ignored for too long, and honestly, it's a powder keg, and now it's ready to explode. That's the first issue. Second issue I have, I live at 400B Park Place. I live on the backside of Park Place where Broward Street, which is an alley, is. There's 2 apartments. My neighbor, about a little over a month ago, someone defecated on her front step and then tried to light it on fire. We have asked, I have gone down, I have raised Cain and killed Abel down at the police station. Asked somebody, please, can y'all have somebody come through there on a regular basis? The fiends and all that, they know there's no cameras on the backside. They took the cameras out that were on Broward Street a while ago. So it's kind of like, what can we do? I've been threatened. I'm a veteran. I don't take threats very easily. Just happened about 2 weeks ago, and honestly, I had to keep my calm because somebody was going to get hurt, and it's not going to be me. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. But I've gone down to the city police station. I've asked to speak to Chief Kiefer. He wasn't in. It seems like all I'm getting is just, I'm getting a runaround. This is an issue that has been going on for years, even before COVID hit. Something needs to be done. If it means that I've got to shout on the top of the mountain, I'll do so. But this is something that she didn't need it. That house could have burned, that apartment could have burned down. I could have been killed. Her and her son could have been killed. A lot of things could have happened. But this is an issue that needs to be looked at. I've gone to Housing Security and I've asked them to have 2 officers come through and get out of the vehicles and walk randomly. What does it take? What does it take?
Our police captain is currently here listening, so I'm sure you can offline with him.
Nice to meet you. But this is a situation that they know, since the cameras are on Park Place and that the 2 apartments are on the back, they do, it's been going on for a while. And like I said, I need some peace. We all need peace.
Yeah.
We don't deserve it.
Appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to speak? Could just come forward, state your name and address, please, and you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jean Carol Keys, and I live in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I'm a part of the community. I actually was rooted and grounded at the Memorial Recreation Center, AKA the Robert W. Johnson Center, and I have watched the petition go by, and I've watched lots of things happen. What's the legal ramifications that can go forward? And the next thing is, the Memorial Recreation Center, the Robert W. Johnson Center, it's a staple in our community. It's actually vital. A lot of our little people are not allowed to cross over to the railroad tracks and go to the Boys and Girls Club, because about 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, a little boy was hit and he was killed. So to watch the Robert W. Johnson Center, a place that I got my first foundation, where I was able to learn how to cook, where I was able to have a dance, where someone imparted values, not just at home, but someone cared for us. What are we doing? How are we going to begin to change the trajectory of things? We have let this center sit and be quiet for so long. I have been a part of the last year over some meetings where we've asked them to come, and to no avail, no one has showed up. When do we say enough is enough? Yes, we can hold up money. Yes, we can hold up grants. But when do we hold up accountability to the people that are on the board? It's time for us to make a change. And the people of the community have begun to pass this petition around. We have begun to ask questions, and to no avail. So my next question is, what are you guys going to do? What are you going to help us do to begin to change some things? Like Fred, Mr. Chavis, I don't believe that there should be a private meeting. If anyone from the board needs to meet, they need to meet with us out in the open. We've let them have private meetings. We've sat back long enough. It's time to make a move. The lack of knowledge, the people will perish. Well, guess what? Our children are hurting. They have nowhere to go, no place to be, and enough is enough.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Is there anyone else who would like to speak today? All right. Appreciate all of you guys coming this evening. Going to move on from our citizen comment period. And if we could get an approval of the minutes, please.
Madam Mayor, I move for the approval of minutes as presented for the mayor and council meetings held on October 4th, 13th, 18th of 2022 and October 25th of 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move that all the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution, annexation case number A-2022-02, lands of GVP Hagerstown owner LLC.
Madam Mayor, hereby move that the mayor and city council approve an annexation resolution for annexation case number A-2022-02, known as lands of GVP Hagerstown owner LLC. The portion of property to be annexed is approximately 21.44 acres in size. Is intended to be added to and made part of the adjacent municipal lands. The effective date of this annexation will occur when the project receives a certificate of completion for the shell building permit, or on July 1, 2023, whichever comes first.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of an ordinance approving cable television franchise agreement with Comcast.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move to approve an ordinance authorizing the approval of a non-exclusive franchise agreement with Comcast of California, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, LLC. As indicated in the attached agreement, the term of the franchise will be from November 22nd, 2022 to November 21st, 2027, with a provision for one automatic extension of an additional 5-year term.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance to purchase 50-58 West Antietam Street.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move to introduce an ordinance to approve the agreement of sale for the purchase of real property known as 50-58 West Antietam Street for the construction of a parking deck.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance, add chapter 230 transient housing to the city code.
Madam Mayor, we move that the mayor and city council introduce an ordinance to add chapter 230 transient housing to the code of the city of Hagerstown, This added chapter will, 1, establish a licensing program for transient housing facilities, which includes hotels, motels, inns, bed and breakfast structures, and short-term rentals. 2, enact license fees for transient housing facilities based on tier level for hotels and license fees for bed and breakfast and short-term rentals. 3, create a tier structure related to calls for service ratio for hotels. 4, establish inspection requirements for transient housing facilities. 5, require training for transient housing owners, managers, and staff on human trafficking activities, human trafficking victims, and overdose response program. 6, create transient housing facility guest register requirements pertaining to transient visitors, letting any transient housing unit. 7, enact premises requirements prohibiting hourly rates and letting transient housing units for illegal purposes. 8, provide processes to deny, suspend, or revoke transient housing facility applications and licenses.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 65 habitual offender to enhance support to our transient visitors and neighborhoods.
Madam Mayor, hereby move that the mayor and city council introduce an ordinance to amend Chapter 65 habitual offender of the Code of the City of Hagerstown. This chapter will be amended to include Chapter 230, transient housing. This amendment is intended to provide additional protections for our transient visitors and neighborhoods from nuances, actions, and conditions.
Second.
Second by Takesha. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 95, excessive use of the city services to impose fees for police law enforcement services and code administration services which are over and above the cost of providing normal police protection, law enforcement, and code administration services at transient housing facilities.
Madam Mayor, hereby move that the mayor and city council introduce an ordinance to amend Chapter 95, excessive use of city services of the Code of the City of Hagerstown. These amendments will, number 1, establish definitions for transient housing facilities and short-term rentals. 2, amend the definitions for commercial property, multi-unit residential structure, and residential property. 3, add transient housing facility to chronic nuisance property definition for HPD qualifying calls with a minimum number of 60 qualifying calls in a 12-month period. And 4, require HPD and code administration to publish a list of properties deemed chronic nuisance properties annually.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution authorizing a financial incentive agreement between the City of Hagerstown, Maryland and MCB Hagerstown LLC.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move for mayor and council approval of a resolution authorizing the city to enter into a financial incentive agreement with MCB Hagerstown LLC in connection with its development of property and capital investment. The city's financial incentive provides grant back after permit fees paid. The approval provides the city administrator and/or the city attorney may make administrative edits to the attached agreement if necessary prior to execution.
Second.
Seconded by Tiara. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a resolution lease amendment with Maryland Watchworks LLC for the City of Hagerstown property located at 14 North Potomac Street, Hagerstown, Maryland.
Madam Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council to approve the attached resolution authorizing the lease amendment with Maryland Watchworks LLC at the City of Hagerstown property located at 14 North Potomac Street, Suite B3 in Hagerstown, Maryland. The approval provides that the city administrator and/or the city attorney may make administrative and non-substantive edits to the attached addendum if necessary prior to execution.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of a motion letter of intent with Maryland State Departments of Labor and Education for the City of Hagerstown property located at 2-6 North Potomac Street, Hagerstown.
Madam Mayor, hereby move that the mayor and city council to approve the attached letter of intent for rental space with Maryland State Departments of Labor and Education at the City of Hagerstown property located at 2-6 North Potomac Street in Hagerstown, Maryland. The approval provides that the city administrator and/or the city attorney may make administrative and non-substantive edits to the attached letter of intent if necessary prior to execution.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval to reimburse Washington County for the community-based prosecutor for fiscal year '23.
Madam Mayor, I move for mayor and council approval to reimburse the Washington County Narcotics Task Force a total of $64,397 for FY '23. This is paid for out of the Maryland Crime Intelligence Network grant.
Second.
Seconded by Shelley. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of solid waste collection service fee increase.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the curbside collection monthly fees paid to Waste Management of Pennsylvania as follows. $6.50 per month for municipal solid waste, $1.56 per month for yard waste, $5.56 per month for collection and processing of recyclables. To fund these increased costs, I authorize an increase in the collection service fee of $5 per quarter per unit for all residential and commercial collections for bills issued after January 1, 2023. I further move to authorize staff to obtain bids for portable totes for trash collection to be issued to residential properties starting with the downtown zone F in early 2023 and citywide in 2024. Funding for the 15,500 plus totes will be from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, and is estimated at $1.2 million.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a comment for folks that may be filling their night with watching this and did not happen to see our discussion on the matter. The bulk of the increase, as noted in the motion, is associated with continuing our collection program for recyclables. Recyclables are the most volatile part of the collection process, and so when recyclable collection is good, when business is good, it's low, and when business is not so good, it's high. But at the end of the day, the smart thing to do, the right thing to do, is to continue the collection of recyclables as part of our solid waste collection program. And to do so, you have to absorb that cost to make it happen.
I would just like to say thanks for the matching totes. I think it's gonna make a huge difference, especially in the dense areas of our city. I know it's something that's, staff's been looking into and we've been talking about for a while, so, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. City Administrator.
Just a couple of things, Mayor. I just want to remind everybody that Saturday, November 26th, is Small Business Saturday. Please shop small in the Main Street and A&E District, and deals and discounts offered by over 20 downtown businesses, so don't forget that. Also, since we don't meet next week, want to remind everyone that City Park lighting is Friday, December 2nd, from 6 to 9 at City Park. Official lighting of the holiday lights and music show at City Park Lake will begin at 7. The trees will be lit through January 1st. So my family knows where I'll be most evenings watching the lights. And free family-friendly activities will take place down there as well. So that's the events for the next 2 weeks. And on behalf of staff, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you have a safe and a joyous one. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Alshire?
Sure, just want to echo Scott's comments about Thanksgiving. Also wanted to say that this is the second or third meeting that we've had folks from the Jonathan Street community who are obviously very passionate about the community center being up and operational and benefiting the folks within the neighborhood and within the broader community. I got the two young men sitting there in the audience this evening watching this meeting and getting their merit badges for doing so. And it's hard to explain, if it were my kids sitting there, sort of how government is supposed to work when you've got folks from a neighborhood who are very passionate about an issue come before the elected body and plead, frankly, for something to be done to improve the conditions of something that benefits the residents of this community. and not be able to respond as immediately and as definitively as we would like to as a body to simply just fix it. I will say the same thing tonight that I said the other week and the discussion before that. That should be our goal as the adults that are supposed to be representing leadership within this community, is to simply approach the issue. We have the funding available. We certainly have the intelligence and the will in this community to do so. So whatever that takes, I'm just going to say now, I stand here ready to just participate in the process of fixing those things and getting it up and operational in the way it should be to benefit that neighborhood and the citizens of this city.
Thank you. Councilmember Burchett.
Just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving and very safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourself, and the holidays are coming, and let's try to be thankful. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Burnett?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for speaking up on behalf of the Jonathan Street community. It's been a very interesting year. There's been many meetings throughout this entire year regarding the community center, and overall just the aesthetics of the community and just a sense of where do we go now. There was a community meeting last Thursday. That was a very positive meeting in my opinion. Not only did we talk about the challenges, but we also listed many solutions on how to go forward, including art programs, just overall, what can we do right now to help the community? And I feel like it was a very positive meeting. There's a lot of momentum behind it. I support those who are speaking up about what needs to be done for our community center, and I'm just happy that we're at a time where it's a not so much reactive situation. Right now it's proactive. What can we do now to fix this? So I thank those who are coming forward, thank those for attending all these meetings that are occurring, and you have my full support. And also thank you guys for having free meals throughout the community, providing free turkeys. Those organizations, the individuals that are helping those in need, thank you so much, and I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Councilmember Martinez?
I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and also I just want to piggyback off of Councilmember Asher. Actually, I just want to say, let's just fix it. And the logo back there looks amazing. It is a brightener when you walk into the room. So that's it.
Kristen, sometimes I'm really glad when you go first, because you just take the words that I have in my heart and my head and just make them so eloquent. I mean, it's long-winded, but it's good. So I also am ready and willing to do whatever it takes to get the community back to what it needs to be and what everyone expects. So I also wanted to talk about a second the downtown tree lighting on Saturday, which was very well attended and super fun, and it was really got you in the spirit. But Eric Dykey. So every time I call Eric Dykey, he always is like, oh my gosh, it's Councilmember McIntyre, yuck. But I had a special request that could not be fulfilled because it was too late, but yet Eric still tried really hard to come. He texted me a little bit later and tried to make it work, and it still didn't work. But just the fact that he was busy, it was, not able to be done, but he just took the extra time on a Saturday to make sure that I was okay and that the guest that was trying to attend was going to be okay. And he really went the extra mile, and I really appreciate that. So maybe he won't be so grumpy when I call the next time. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. You all are amazing, and super thankful for this body, and it's really a pleasure to work with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're 2 years.
2 years.
Tomorrow,
2
right?
years.
2 years tomorrow.
Tomorrow's our anniversary.
Yes, it is.
Yikes. Happy
I'm thankful for
anniversary.
these 2 years. Yeah. I just want to thank staff for Saturday, the tree lighting, the Makers Market. It was just incredible. It was packed. There was a ton of vendors. I read online, Cannon Coffee said they did triple their best day they've ever had. I mean, that's the kind of support we want to give to our businesses, so I appreciate everyone that showed up. And I echo all of the Thanksgiving, although I'm not looking forward to grocery shopping this evening. I am very, very thankful to be in this position to serve with you guys, and I'm thankful to represent this community. You know, so often we all say how great of a community we have, and what great staff members we have, what great team members, but also what great community members we have. And I think that that was shining through tonight during citizen comment times. We have people who really, really, really care about this community and care about the youth. And so I'm thankful for all of you. And with that, we're adjourned. See you in 2 weeks.